So the question is, there's a rumor that if without an Olympiad background, you have, let's say, lower chances of getting into a top institution. And what would you give suggestions to students who don't come from said Olympiad backgrounds and got into and can get into these institutions? That's a good question. First, let me clarify one thing. If you come from an Olympiad background, it tells and you have international accolades in that field, it tells a lot about you. It tells you are dedicated. It tells you are passionate about something. It tells you have strong academic and scholarly interests. It tells a lot about you, right? And it also tells among your high school class throughout the world, you're probably in the 1% when it comes to, let's say, math, physics, and whatnot. So that gives you, the university, all sorts of reasons to take you into their class. However, I know a lot of academic, like Olympiad medalists who didn't get in. I've also heard that a lot of people got into top institutions without Olympiad backgrounds. When I got into Harvard in 2017, I was a freshman, or first year as I would call it. And there was a senior from Bangladesh, which is fourth year. Her name is Zayan. And after I went up in years, and now I'm a fourth year student, and there are 3 Bangladeshi students from Bangladesh high schools who are now at Harvard. So total in my time here, I have seen personally 5 students, including me, at Harvard from Bangladesh. And among those 5 students, 4 were not from Olympiad backgrounds. You have Zayan Apu, who wasn't from an Olympiad background. You have me, you have Suraya Jemima, who's not from an Olympiad background, Avishika, who's not from an Olympiad background, and you have Irtiza, who is from an Olympiad background. 3 females, 2 males. So that's also for students or female students who are discarded, that most applicants they see are usually males. I would like to say no, that's not true. There is a good amount of female representation at Harvard, at MIT. So don't give up. But pushing that aside, there are 4 students who got into these institutions in like a span of few years, not from Olympiad backgrounds. So that shows that it is possible, right? So you know how I talked about how being an Olympiad tells a lot about you, that you are dedicated and you can practice something for 5 or 6 years. You're passionate about your interests. You give back to the community. A lot of those Olympiad students were teachers for future Olympiad batches. You have genuine academic scholarly interest. These Olympiads are hard, and you have to be really passionate about them to do well on an international scale. So separate those traits out and apply those to any extracurricular activity that demonstrates similar traits, right? How can you do that? Let's say you're a debater. Debate for a few years, teach debating to students. Be very active, organize debating events. Do well, be passionate. Represent your debating team in the WSDC, international and national landscapes. All of these show the same traits that being an Olympiad kind of show. Passion, dedication, getting an award in those arenas, initiative, teaching, giving back to the community, a lot of those important traits. And you can kind of do that almost in any field. Let's say computer science. You can open a club that teaches coding in your school. You can build apps and websites and for organizations with good goals. You can create a business which provides a certain software as service to consumers or business or government, right? So you have a lot of opportunities to demonstrate the same traits in other extracurricular activities without coming from Olympiad backgrounds. I think being an Olympiad increases your chances. Being a successful Olympiad increases your chance of getting into top universities. However, not being one does not decrease your chances. It kind of sends your chances to that of an average candidate. And you can bring it up by demonstrating the same traits Olympiads demonstrate to other extracurricular activities. That was a long reply. I hope the video is still on this platform so that students can later watch it.
Yes, sure.